Good morning, St. John. I'm Stan Stockdale. Connie and I have been members at our church for at least 25 years. 20 years ago, we bought some property in the hills outside of Asheville, North Carolina. There was a family who had owned the property for over 50 years, and at the time of our purchase, the father owned one section and his older son the other. They wanted to sell them both at the same time, and it worked out that Bert and Laura Jones bought the father's portion and we bought the son's portion. This was before Bert and Laura even had children. Soon after that, 9/11 happened, and as you know, it was another very unsettling time. When 9/11 occurred, our older son was traveling around the world solo and on a shoestring. Those times are long gone, aren't they? At the moment of 9/11, Jonathan was traveling by boat from Bali to Jakarta, and once he landed, he learned of it walking by an electronics store window where multiple TVs were showing the towers fall. He was stranded in the largest Muslim city in the world. Fortunately, our fears were unfounded. There's another lesson for sure, and the people of Jakarta were very kind and friendly to our son. Additionally, we were given great comfort by Stuart and Ann Caldwell's assurances that if Jonathan could make it to the Philippines, the leaders of the Christian mission that the Caldwells actively supported and participated in would welcome Jonathan and care for him as long as necessary. Jonathan eventually made it home without having to go to the Philippines, but the Caldwells' kindness remains with us today. Thank you again, Stuart and Ann. Today we are faced with unsettled times again. I'm sure nothing came out of 9/11 that was good, but I'm hopeful and pray that the events of today will result in us finally delivering the promise of America to all the people who live here. So, where do we go to receive God's comfort? Prayer, the Bible, being together with other Christians, all immediately come to mind. There is also another way that Jesus points out in the Sermon on the Mount. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your span of life? And why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon, in all his glory, was not clothed like one of these. That's from Matthew chapter 6, verses 26 through 29. And then also from Job, believe it or not, chapter 12, verses 7 to 10. But ask the animals, and they will teach you, the birds of the air, and they will tell you. Ask the plants of the earth, and they will teach you, and the fish of the sea will declare to you. Who among all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? So, looking at birds and observing lilies and the other wonders of the natural world God made for all of us can also bring us comfort and wisdom. In that way, the quarantine has been a blessing for Connie and me. We are spending most of this time in North Carolina, and the pace of our life has slowed to the point where we have been able to watch nature and see the wonders of God take place. We have seen ferns come out of the ground in a snail-like form and eventually turn into something magical. Hostas have sprouted and are about to bloom. Hydrangeas are doing their things. And on the hillsides, the mountain laurels and rhododendrons are also blooming. The hummingbirds are back, and they are darting between their riches. A mother wren made a nest in one of our eaves and successfully hatched a family of babies. We watched them bomb out of their nest to begin their own lives. Now she's back with another set of eggs, doing it again. Who knew? Anyway, I hope you receive God's comfort today. Please be safe, and please remember that each of us can make a difference.